Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to build the seat for the YZ426. So, as you can see, I already have the foam and the base ready, so let's get it thrown together. So for the seat here, as you can see, here's our seat base and the foam. And before we get the foam onto the base, let me show you where this base came from. Well, this is from the 2004 YZ426F. And we knew that it was like this. It was kind of like this when we put that new seat cover on it, but it's even worse now. So we got a new base and foam that we're gonna put on the 426. And this base with a new foam and a new seat cover is going on the 426. And the newer base and foam is gonna go on the 250F with that seat cover. But check that out. Amazing how beat up this foam is. So yeah, we got this thing all cleaned up and it's looking pretty good now. It's got a bunch of staples in it since it's had two seat covers on it, but it's pretty good. It's a good base still. And this foam here, we went with Guts Racing for the cover, and same thing with the foam. We got the medium strength foam because the stock stuff is extremely hard. So we're not doing crazy races and stuff where you need it to be super hard. We're going on longer rides where sometimes it's nice to not be sitting on a rock the whole time. So I got some of this 3M high strength spray adhesive, but I'm gonna spray this stuff outside, and I'm gonna spray a little bit here in the back, a little bit around the sides, maybe a little bit on this middle piece here, and a bit on this front section, and kind of do the same thing on the foam itself. I'm going to go outside so I don't get any overspray on anything in here. So I'll show you guys that real quick. I think that's as good as I can get. Alright, so we got the foam glued down real well to the base. You don't need too much because the cover is going to set everything in. So to put this cover on, here's the cover we got. Guts Racing, they have some good videos on how to install these things. So if you guys are going to do that, I'd go to them. And we got this little air stapler here we got from Harbor Freight. It's been working pretty good for us. We've done a couple covers with it already. So let's see if we can get this going on. Alright guys, check out this seat cover. Turned out pretty amazing. No wrinkles in it, and it all laid out pretty good, and it's going to look super good on the bike. But this is going to be the last thing we'll put on. So I think next, I think get some of the guards for the brake on, and then we can get the graphics on. So now that we got that seat built, it's not on yet, but I think I'll throw that on last because it kind of is the last thing or the first thing you do if you ever need to do any service. So what I'm going to throw on right now is the front number plate. It's a UFO front number plate. For some reason I couldn't get it directly from UFO. I had to get it through Decal Works. That's who we're getting our graphics through. So it's going to go on something like that. The clutch cable kind of rides behind there. And I think what I might do, there are some holes in the bottom of this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a hole right here and another one over there that line up with this bolt hole right here. So I think I'll find a bolt that'll thread into that, Loctite it in on both sides, and then those will kind of help line up this number plate so it stays on. And then for this upper one here, I'll get that guy on in a minute, but I've got this Tusk hour meter and I've got a mount for it too. And I think up here is going to be a good spot to get it mounted, just so you can see what your RPMs are looking like while you're going down the road. But I got to make up a little adapter for that to get it high enough, and then throw that mount on. So we'll get that going. So before I finish getting the front number plate on, since it's kind of in the same area, I'm going to throw on the free flow fuel vent hose that I got. So even though I'm not probably there yet for the CR build, I did get one of these for the CR250 and it looks really good. The only difference for some reason is this one doesn't have free flow on the little check valve part. That's okay. And I usually stick them down into the steering stem like this. Looks like this hose needs to be trimmed just a little bit because it goes all the way to the bottom, but it's nice, it stays in there. It'll hold your gas cap when you take it off, and they look good and they always stay nice and flexible, unlike the stock one. Alright, so we got a couple guards here for the rear caliper. It is the stock guard, but these things are pretty strong, and at some point we might upgrade into one of the billet ones, but especially the one that goes down here, they're super strong. So I'm gonna get this thrown on real quick. And the lower one is next. And the other one is from the back here. So for the hour meter, I already got the wire ran down and hooked up. Running a Tusk hour meter / tack. And I got this little mount here I got. I'm gonna put it right here on the front number plate. I've seen a lot of people put it right here. And I think it's a nice spot. It's tucked away, but if you really look over far enough, then you can see it. On the Honda, I now have it up here. There's a bolt right here on the CR250. And I found this little Allen screw that fits in there deep enough. The normal 8mm doesn't fit. Unfortunately, they didn't make it deep enough. I get this guy threaded on down. Position it to where you want it, then hold it real tight. And now we got a couple tiny little screws that are gonna go in these two holes. And they go in the more forward mounts. So it's gonna go something like that. And now I'm gonna throw on the bar pad. So this is the one we had on the bike before we tore everything apart. So it's a little bit crusty just from ride time. I think this thing has been on here for a while. And I'm going to use the black foam that came with these bars. It's a lot softer than the stuff that came with the blue wrap. And I think the black in contrast should look pretty good. Should contrast with the rest of the bike pretty well. And that's gonna go on something like that. And I'll get this extra little tie for the front fender. I'm gonna zip tie it down to the clutch cable because UFO doesn't have the stuff to mount it right. But I kind of like the way it looks. It kind of protects some of your cables, and it'll look weird if you cut that off. So that's looking good. All right, so down here we got our skid plate. I vapor blasted up a little bit. I didn't get all the dings and dents out of it. Adds a little character and still looks good. Now I was planning on getting some new bolts for all of these, but there weren't enough in the kit to make it all happen. So I'll probably end up ordering some for a newer bike that have the zinc finish on them. But for now, these will hold it on there. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video, and the next video is going to be graphics and probably finishing this 426 up, so you won't want to miss that. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.